Hey everyone. So, I guess right from the jump there is a bit of an elephant in the room to address for this chapter. Frick. 7 pages. Never before has there been a more telling sign that Horikoshi's body is fucking breaking down, guys. Like, honest to fucking Christ, like, even Tagashi, who I know it's questionable about his health issues, but even Tagashi, who's apparently had severe back pain, even he managed to get like a back problems. Even he managed to get like full-on chapters done. So it's like, it just makes you say, how worse are Horikoshi's symptoms at this point? Like, it's don't get me wrong, I'm at least happy he still managed to get this chapter out, but it's like, it makes me curious. It's stuff like this that makes me say, is Horikoshi going to live long enough to finish this series? Like, again, I know, like, again, putting the manga aside for a minute, like, the manga itself aside for a minute, like, how is his health? That's my biggest question coming out of this chapter. Like, as weird as it is to say, like, just something's got to give here. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what they can do, but like I don't know. It's kind of insane. It's kind of breaking my brain a bit, I guess you could say. But okay, I'm done with the rant. But let's talk about the chapter itself, because honestly, again, picking up from what I said last week, this kind of is turning into my favorite. This just based off last chapter and this chapter, this kind of has become my personal favorite All Might versus All for One fight. Like just the idea of All Might, powerless All Might, just in a suit, going up against the immeasurable power of All for One. Like, just the concept in itself is kind of one of my. It's like, to me, this fight, if I'm allowed to make a MCU connection here, like, for a moment, this to me is My Hero Academia's equivalent of Tony Stark versus Thanos, or something to that effect. Like, it's just one man, one powerless man, only with gadgets, going up against an all-powerful god, basically. And again, it's a concept I really love, of just like of pushing past your limits, going up against immeasurable odds, and like, yeah, I again, like I said, all these elements are making for probably, again, a fight I kind of like over All Might and All Might and All for One's very first fight. So yeah, in that respect, I really like the chapter. It is and it's funny, even though All for One kind of chastises All Might for saying your measly little gadgets can't do anything. Measly little gadgets are easily broken. They can't do anything against me. And yet it's look. I like how he thinks. I like how, in All Might's response to that, he kind of looks back on the very first time he met Nana, and like, he was just holding a metal pipe, and it was like, in a lot of ways you could say that very first moment was almost like was Toshinori's very first hero moment. Like, it was the moment where he first, not only where he met Nana for the first time, but where he first like took that his first, where it was his starting line, that moment where he was just holding the pipe, hoping to go up against the villain. That was his hero moment. And like, the first time he recognized him, he knew within himself that he was a hero, I think, at that moment. So it's like, it's kind of nice how even back, and it's, in that sense, it's kind of come full circle. Like, back then he didn't have any powers, and he was still willing to fight a villain. And even now, he doesn't have powers, and he's still willing to go up against one of the greatest villains of all time. So it's like, yeah, it's like, you really gotta love it about the guy. Now, yeah, obviously we do also gotta talk about the we do gotta talk about that end, because it is looking like All for One is pushing back on All Might, and yeah, it might be looking more and more like he's gonna lose, but it might be looking more and more like he might die from this. But again, like it's one of those things where I have to wait to see how Horikoshi pulls this off, because I think my biggest thing right now about this is that I think my biggest thing right now is that like it. I think one thing I'm most curious about is like how is Horikoshi going to pull this off in a way that where it feels emotional to us, because let's kind of face facts here, guys. Even though it's if Horikoshi's planning to kill All Might, then how's he going to do it? Because up to this point, he's really been kind of teasing us in so many moments where it looks like All Might was supposed to die but didn't. So like how is he? So like because we've kind of been dick teased a bit with his death and so many other moments throughout the series, how is he going to make this one work in a way where it does land in that emotional way? That's kind of my question about this chapter, I guess you could say. And yeah, like what? And yeah, what more else can I say? This use and like yeah, what more else can I say? Like this like what else can I say? Like aside from my concerns for Horikoshi, that this was still a pretty great chapter, and like again, honestly, like you can tell with All Might, like he and I like the kind of like mental exchange that All Might and All for One are doing in this chapter, of like they're both thinking of kind of the same thing of how they can push each other back, like which in itself shows even without powers, All Might is pushing All for One back. So yeah, that's kind of a cool indicator that yeah, All Might is giving All for One the business, regardless of how powerful he is. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got for this one. Again, if you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, anyways, control, and again, just really tell me what you think about this chapter, because again, I really liked it, but some's got to give. But anyway, that's it, guys. Later.